What's going on, guys? You're watching Spec to React, your favorite channel for reviews, reactions, and theories. And today, we're going to be talking about the seventh episode of WandaVision, Breaking the Fourth Wall. Here we go.
All right, so let's just start off with the huge reveal. Agnes is, drum roll please, Agatha Harkness. And every MCU fan ever goes, we know. So a lot happened in this episode, and it was just a lot of stuff that we already knew. For example, this whole Agnes thing. What was your take on that?
See, I was aware of the existence of Agatha Harkness before I watched this show, but I feel like the way they introduced it was really intelligent, because Agatha Harkness in the comics, she's like this old lady, but
Hmm.
Catherine Hahn and her portrayal was, a lively, upbeat, yet nosy neighbor, which to me was, it was like a smart take on it. But at the same time, I do wish we would have gotten the reveal a little bit earlier. And if they hadn't made her name Agnes, how cool would it have been if her name was like Mary or something, and then she turned out to be Agatha Harkness, right?
Yeah, the whole thing about this was everyone knew, and I remember watching an interview of Catherine Hahn where I actually first put it together, where they kept saying Agnes, and then the interviewer himself was like, "Wait, Agnes, Agatha Harkness?" So they made it so clear. I will give Disney Plus props for a minute because they did stretch it out. I guess the reason they stretched out the reveal so much was to confuse people. Like, is this really Agatha Harkness or not? Even like last video, I was like, this might just be a victim and they might just be throwing us a curveball. But I guess they weren't, and it's actually Agatha Harkness. Not to take away, the reveal was kind of like, like this is not brand new information. We know exactly that this, we knew from the start that this was going to happen, but not to take away from her acting. Her acting was really, really on point and kind of scary.
Yeah, she was terrifying.
It was the right amount of scary. It was the right amount of crazy plus scary, in my opinion. Also, the song, I really dug the song. The lyrics were completely false, though. It's like you were like completely in the dark or something, and I was like, no, not really.
Not really.
Yeah, but the acting was great, and the kids have been kidnapped, and she killed Sparky. She mentions that at the end of the song, and then starts laughing. She killed Sparky the dog, which is kind of sad.
I had a feeling she killed Sparky, but I will say that like I do like what they're doing with this whole like sitcom approach. But is this the same Agatha from the comics? Because you know I don't really see how they would introduce like somebody who's been through something as I guess old as the Salem witch trials into this MCU without making it feel forced.
Yeah, I don't know if she is like the exactly same Agnes, but we know how they retcon characters in the MCU, so I'm not
You're right.
shocked that they would do that.
And they also have a knack for, I guess, making characters' backstories fit into realism in a really clever way, like what they did with Mysterio and his
Hmm.
illusion powers.
Absolutely, and like again, the reveal wasn't like amazing. I actually I had a Twitter poll and like 90 something people. I think this one, I think 50 something people voted, but there's another one that 90 something people voted. But 50 something people voted that like we already knew, which kind of tells me that it wasn't just, like pretty much everyone knew, not just the MCU fans, pretty much just everyone knew that, she was going to be Agatha Harkness. And speaking of that, people probably also knew that she was going to take the kids at some point because that's what happens in the comics.
You're right. I really hope nothing bad happens to them, but we've been told that the ending for this show is going to be very sad by Tiana Paris, so I'm scared for the children, man.
Yeah, that's true. Tiana Paris has teased that. Also, speaking of Tiana Paris, she, the aerospace engineer, her friend, the aerospace engineer, we thought it was going to be Reed Richards, and
Yep.
now the other poll that I was talking about, 90 something people voted that no, they don't think Reed Richards has a chance in hell of coming into this show now.
I'm really disappointed. I was expecting a Luke Skywalker level cameo, at least in this episode, which we are told we're getting, but I mean, you have 2 episodes left. You better hurry it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, Wanda. No, I'm sorry, I called her Wanda because this is just a testament to how good she is. Elizabeth Olsen has been going on a lot of news shows and being like, there's a Luke Skywalker level cameo. And let me be real, Quicksilver, not a Luke Skywalker level cameo.
Yeah.
Sorry to the Quicksilver fans, he just doesn't have the longevity yet to be a Luke Skywalker level cameo. On the other hand, someone like Reed Richards would definitely be of that level.
Yeah, because you're combining the F4 with the MCU, which is an achievement similar to what Luke Skywalker did. It showed the fans that you could bring a character back from the dead, right?
Yeah, also people are saying actually an eagle-eyed Spectre React commenter told us that we were actually wrong and Ian McKellen has worked with Paul Bettany, meaning that the cameo cannot be Ian McKellen.
Interesting.
So it could also be Patrick Stewart, since he's actually never worked with Paul Bettany. And for those of you who don't know, Paul Bettany has said multiple times that this is an actor that he has not worked with so far. So that's the cameo, and he's really excited to show the scenes with him.
And also, he said he had fireworks with this actor, but I didn't really get fireworks from Vision and so-called Uncle P interacting.
Yeah, so it's definitely as far as I can tell, it's not him. Always could be Mephisto. But is Mephisto even gonna show up?
There's that thing about the pillar in Agnes's lair or Wanda's basement having the same symbol as one of the posters, which had like a devil picture. So maybe Mephisto will be teased and he'll show up next season, but I think the odds of him showing up are pretty low.
Yeah, in this season at least, it's looking really bad for Mephisto because it's episode 8, and I don't know if I've voiced this enough on the channel, but like I have a big problem with underdeveloped villains. And if they show Mephisto in episode 8 and then show him getting beaten in episode 9, I will be really disappointed.
Me too. They have to do the character justice because he has so much rich history that comes with him.
Hmm. You can't just have the character just show up and get beaten. Like I would really hate for a Dormammu incident to happen where it's like Agatha summons Mephisto and then Mephisto's like, hi, and then Wanda's like, bam, and then Mephisto goes away. That'd be really like a pathetic ending to the show.
100% agree. But who do you think is Ralph?
I think because now that we know that it was Agatha all along, do you think Ralph even exists?
I think Ralph might be Pietro.
Mm, Ralph might be Pietro. That's so
Yeah.
confusing. The thing is about Pietro is like, is that even Pietro? Because at the end, there's an end credit scene. By the way, guys, if you have not seen that, go back to the show, watch it. It's please stand by shows up, and you're like, oh no, the greatest villain of MCU history, and most people just leave. But there is an end credit scene, and in that Pietro sneaks up on Monica or Photon now, and they have a little interaction for a second. So is Pietro even Pietro, or is it just because there was a scene in the Agatha all along where she like moves her hand like in a way,
She enchanted
and
him.
yeah, it was it enchantment or was it like creation?
I'm not sure. I think we're going to get answers. But I will say there are a lot of missing or mysterious people here. We've got Ralph. We've got the interviewer. Who the hell is the interviewer? And there's
Agatha
also this
apparently.
missing male person. No, it was like a guy speaking
Oh yeah, you're right. What do you think? Well, because it was Agatha on the chair,
behind the camera.
um,
Yeah.
behind the camera afterwards. So who's the guy? Wait, was there even a guy? I don't remember
There was a
exactly.
guy because one was like, you ain't supposed to talk. Remember?
That's right. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that. But yes, so then who's the guy? That's
I really hope we
interesting.
get answers. I really hope this isn't something that they just forget about.
Speaking of the what is Pietro thing, actually, the Twitter poll for that I took just came back like as we are speaking, and a lot of people are just saying it's Agatha's creation of Pietro, which because Monica says that Pietro wasn't us right when Agatha enters. That's the logic that people are given. By the way, just to plug the Twitter at Spectre React, pull up every Thursday night after the WandaVision episode. We usually conduct big polls, and I like barrage the feed with polls and memes and all. So you don't want to miss out on that stuff.
It's a great time. Go check it out,
Yeah,
guys. One thing I do want to mention is next episode is going to be a fireworks show because you've got Wanda's red magic, you've got Photon's blue magic or powers, and you've got Agatha's purple magic. So it's going to be just three chicks duking it out, and I'm here for it.
yeah, and Vision's yellow beam power. And get a little dude,
Yeah.
a little beam power coming in when he finally comes over because apparently the whole reason that they Vision wasn't able to come to, Wanda's rescue was because he thought that Wanda was putting roadblocks up for him. Like there was all of a sudden like kids were crossing the road, and then there was like all the lights turned red. So Vision just ends up flying over. I think that might have been Agatha who was doing all that, by the way.
Wait, maybe Agatha was Wanda when she came out of the bubble and she had the accent, right?
That always made me confused because the accent, Marvel never does anything without a reason. So I guess the accent might have been like the tell that this
The
isn't
dead
really the
giveaway.
Wanda. Yeah, the dead giveaway that this really isn't the Wanda that we know.
Yeah, and one other thing I'd like to add is that we've seen shots in the trailers of Wanda and Vision flying through the neighborhood on the street. They have like a red uh, things coming out of their shoes, right? And there's
That's
also a
right.
shot of Wanda and Vision. This was in the first footage of Wanda Vision ever shown at the Super Bowl, and this involved Wanda and Vision both in color but staring at a black and white TV.
That's
So
right.
maybe they escape this bubble together.
Well, that I'm confused because Tiana Paris and all have been saying that like this is gonna be a huge like tragedy ending. So I don't know if they would escape as much. What I do think is possible though is that because the scenes that you're referring to, the scenes actually got built upon afterwards because WandaVision's on their shit with like leaks and trailers every other week or
Yep.
every week before the episode. So there was also a scene where Wanda and Vision look at each other and Wanda says, "This is our home," or Vision says, "This is our home," and Wanda says, "So let's fight for it." Or I might be I'm messing up who says what. But "let's fight for it" is confusing to me as well because who's attacking? Is it Hayward from outside who's attacking?
There's a lot of villains here. Hayward and Agatha and also Wanda. She's shown herself to be a pretty imposing figure in this episode. I'm scared of her.
Yeah, I mean Wanda's pretty scary too in this one. What would be the ideal for me right now if they were to show Mephisto is to listen to the theory that this channel's been putting out for so long, that Tyler Hayward was Mephisto all along, and he was the person on the outside while Agatha was the person on the inside. That would make a ton of sense to me.
Yes.
And the
And
development would also make sense.
you know what I'd be down for if they kind of set Mephisto up in this TV series, and then in Doctor Strange 2, he pulls up and gets to showcase all his powers, and you got the exposition in this show.
True, true. That would be a good development, and I would not be mad because that would be amazing development. Like if they teased him in this episode enough, even if Tyler Hayward became Mephisto, a lot of people are saying that he doesn't have like the star power. I don't think Marvel has ever shied away from taking an actor who might not currently have the star power and turning that person into someone who had the star power. Like Robert Downey Jr. during the time he was about to be Iron Man, before he was Iron Man, was more well known for his trips to court than for any of his movies. So then they've turned him into this mega star who like pretty much every Marvel fan like idolizes at this point. So I think Tyler Hayward has just as much of a chance to be Mephisto as anyone. And it would be cool if then Tyler Hayward would were to show like then Mephisto were to show his powers in Doctor Strange later on.
With that being said, I'm not too sure about that theory holding water at this point because
Oh no, there's no chance. It's just me talking about what I would like to see.
yeah, 100%. But I do get like a kind of militaristic vibe from Hayward's endeavors. And we do know that he's going to use Vision for a military project, which is kind of scary. It's kind
Project
of like what Tony
Cataract.
was saying about like a suit around the world. And I'm scared that we're going to get another Age of Ultron.
It is possible that Ultron returns every time we watch WandaVision. The next thing that's recommended is Age of Ultron.
Good point.
So who knows? Maybe that's not a Luke Skywalker level cameo. James Spader, we love you, but it's not a Luke Skywalker cameo.
Agreed. I feel
I don't
like
know.
Iron Man, Thor, those characters are on like a Luke Skywalker level, like even like a flashback to better days would be amazing. But as every episode passes, I get more and more confused on how they're going to pull this off because it's been hyped up so much.
Yeah, the level of hype is insane, and now that we might actually see, we might actually see the cameo. I'm just thinking, will they be able to live up to that?
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to live up to.
But I do think they have nailed a lot of things with this show. And there's also a cool subplot with Darcy and Vision interacting. Darcy's now like a clown at a circus, and people just think Vision is also a clown too.
Yeah, and then Darcy actually explains what happened outside Westview because remember, Vision doesn't have any memories from his previous before his death.
Yeah, she gives him
So
like the notes of
yeah, she gives him the cliff notes on Infinity War. So now Vision understands, and also Vision is talking to the interviewer as well.
Yeah, and he also like he pulls an RDJ and just leaves the interview.
Yeah, he just walks out. He hears a disrespectful question, he just walks out. All right, so theories for the next episode. I think Vision will obviously finally reach home and see that his kids are gone, and see that Sparky is dead, see that Wanda is possessed also, because at the end, Agatha Harkness really gives Wanda the Wanda treatment, because in Age of Ultron, she's always controlling people's minds, almost controlling Hawkeye's mind, giving Tony Stark that vision of Thanos attacking and all. So she really just Wanda's Wanda. Um, and he'll Vision will probably try to save Wanda, but probably fail, which will be the ending.
I think Vision will die, and I'm really sad about that because Vision was a dope character and I like what he stood for. But sometimes you gotta have tragedy.
I'm telling you though, I don't think he's gonna die. I think that he will die maybe temporarily to like have everyone, you know. I think he's trying to go for the gold medal of most deaths in MCU. He's trying to take out Doctor Strange and Loki,
Yeah, he's
and
pulling up palps, right?
yeah, he's gonna be back. There's no way they take out Vision, especially with Paul Bettany's growing fan base, and also they don't want to take out that many of the original Avengers from Civil War.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
Black Widow already and Iron Man they already passed away, so
Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America are already pretty much done. Hulk has a broken arm, which kind of shows that he might not be all the way back. So I don't think they want to eliminate all the original Avengers.
yeah, I think next episode Photon is gonna pop off, but at the same time Hayward's gonna frame her as a threat to society, and we might even get to see some new mutants as a result of this hex.
Yeah. Also, next episode, I'm really hoping for a for the cameo not only, but also just like a reveal of like give us all the answers. Give us the
Yes.
answers to the questions that we have not, because you guys answered the you guys gave us the answers that we already knew, and now I kind of want to see the answers that we don't know.
All right, that's it for our review. Go ahead and put your theories and reaction in the comment section. Let's get some conversation going. Hope you liked the video, and peace out.